Hi, I'm Brian of Bush Electronics. We wanted to take an opportunity to show you one of the latest things we received in from Whelen Engineering, and it's this little guy right here. The Whelen Broadcaster, although it appears to be a relatively small package, measuring only about 4 inches by 3 inches and about an inch in thickness, which means it'll mount just about anywhere you want, but it's a really powerful tool. Don't let its size fool you. It's intended to be used in combination with any number of siren units you may already have. In this case, for the bench test, I have a 295 SLSA 6, but you can use it with a standard 295 CENTCOM, HHS 2200, or in this particular unit's application, it'll be used with a CANtrol. It's going to a college campus for a mass notification purpose, and it's great for those particular campuses that maybe the existing mass notification isn't going to reach that far. But don't think it's just used for those particular instances. You can also use it for a city police department that needs to notify its residents of a parking ban that may be taking effect. Rather than the officer continually having to talk during his shift over the PA mic, the officer can merely record the message from a 10 to 30 second message and then have it play either once or when the officer wants, or continuously. One of the great things about that is, should there be an incident on a campus or in an area where the officer needs to leave his vehicle but still wants to continue addressing his message, this unit will take care of it for you. On the front side here, you'll see there's a plug for a standard Whelen microphone that we have over here. It disconnects for easy access. So in many cases, if you're using a CENTCOM or CANtrol, you could use the same microphone if you chose to. You'd have to unplug and plug back in again. And depending upon how the customer chooses the application, would depend upon how we ultimately set it up. You'll notice there's a power button over here. That will allow you to switch between radio and the message system on. This particular system only has a 6-wire plug on the back. So what it essentially will do is plug into your radio rebroadcast from this system, and then your two-way radio that would be utilizing radio rebroadcast system, so it would plug through this. Essentially on radio mode it would pass through, and on mass notification mode this unit would take priority. You can set from 3 different siren tone selections on there: a yelp, a pierce, or a pulsed air horn, or none at all. Meaning before your message plays, there would be a notifier of a pulse, whelp, or air horn. User preference on there. And then message power as well allows you to play the message back over again. The unit will record automatically as soon as the officer depressed the microphone key. You'll notice when I power the unit up, you'll watch the radio light go from blinking over to record light steady on. You'll know the unit's recording. Once you're done, you'll release, it automatically stops recording, and then you're set to play the message. Let's plug it in and we'll give it a try. So we've got the unit all powered up at this point. You'll see that it's on message mode. There's 4 indicating LEDs on the front side of the unit that gives you statuses of what's going on with the unit at this point. Now, as I mentioned, this is a radio rebroadcast, so your two-way radio would be powered through this, as well as the digital voice recorder that runs through this system here. You'll pick through radio power on this side, and you'll cycle through between, at this point, you'll probably see there's a little red indicator light on right now. I may not be able to see what it says on the camera, but it says message at this point. So if I was to hit play, it would play my recorded message. I wanted to go over to radio rebroadcast. Maybe that's where I would like it to be for my standard unit. And I'll press and you'll see that light switched over at that point. Now, beginning to switch between the two of them allows you to choose a myriad of options on it, whether you want to have radio rebroadcast set up as your default or you want to have your message set up as your default. The unit will store a message in it as long as it's powered up. So for a duration of a shift at this point, if you have a particular message you'd like to go out, whether it's a snow emergency or the officer wants to be proactive at that point and give a warning to seek shelter because a storm's coming, or whatever the option may be for it. Now, I mentioned that there's 4 different siren tones. Actually 3 tones, one's a no tone. So if you don't wish to have any particular warning audible given before your voice message goes off, then you would leave it blank. But you have the choice to choose between yelp, pierce, or air horn, pulse. And you'll do that by siren selection, the 3rd button off to this one side. When you depress the button, you'll see the indicator flashes. Now, while it's flashing, you can cycle through. So at this point, I'm going to go with no tone, I'll press it again, and we'll get a siren tone. At this point, it should be yelp. You can adjust your radio rebroadcast volume as well as your message volume. Something pretty easily done through this system that isn't through some of our other siren options. As you're aware, with the 295, the CENTCOM, Cantrol units, you are able to adjust your radio rebroadcast volume as well as your PA, but you have to do it from the back side of the system. This has two small set screws, and with a flat-bladed screwdriver, you're able to slowly adjust those. We wouldn't recommend any drastic changes on it unless you were continually testing the system. In this case, I have it set up, so let's record a message. So as I mentioned before, all the officer needs to do is to press the button on the microphone, and the unit will automatically record, and you'll watch the LED indicator illuminate as soon as I record it. So let's record a message about seeking shelter. Maybe in this case for a storm approaching a college campus. Attention students, attention. Please seek shelter for the approaching storm. You'll notice the light goes back, and now I've recorded my message. Now the officer wants to play this message out on campus. The only thing he needs to do is press message power, and the message automatically begins. Now, here's the thing that the officer needs to choose, whether he wants that message to play continuously or just once. Now the option exists for the unit to keep the message stored, so if you want to play it once and then continue driving to the next parking lot per se on campus, you can press the button again. Or if you prefer to leave the message continuously playing while the officer's driving, or if the officer needs to be out of the vehicle, the message can still give the life safety message on there if needed. So we'll press the message and we'll message play button and we'll see what it does.
Attention, students. Attention. Please seek shelter for the approaching storm.
Now the message stops. Now at that point, if we wanted to keep replaying the message, we would just press it again. In this case, I won't. We'll record a different message, and I'll show you what the loop feature sounds like. But we'll also change the siren tone on there. Let's try it to a pulsed air horn. So now I'm on the pulsed air horn. I'd like to do a message about parking. If you're in the northeast of the United States, particularly in upstate New York where we're located, we've seen a lot of snow. In fact, Syracuse is one of the snowiest cities in the United States. Although we haven't seen this much snow this year, several communities around us have had to institute parking bans. What better way to help make the parking ban aware than having an officer with a broadcaster able to drive around some of the streets? Maybe annoying, but it really helps your DPW crews out. So let's try that message now. Attention, attention. Parking ban is in effect. All cars must be moved by 6 a.m. Again, parking ban is in effect. All cars must be moved by 6 a.m. My message is now recorded, and now I can play it, but I'd like to play it continuously. As I drive around a neighborhood, I want everybody to know. So now, I'm going to press and hold the message play button. And now it'll play continuously.
Attention. Attention. Parking ban is in effect.
And it'll continuously loop at this point. To stop it, we just press the button. Overall, the Whelen Broadcaster is a pretty versatile system. Although it can be aimed toward college campuses or police fleets where they need to mass notify people, don't forget about highway garages that maybe are involved with pesticide spraying or mosquito spraying, for example, and you need to notify people to close their windows, say, within the hour. It's a great system to be able to have someone drive around and continuously get your message out. The system overall is pretty well priced comparative to what you would expect with some of the large mass notification systems. And although your municipality or your college campus may already have a mass notification system, systems like this work great for small locations where you want to get a small geographic area of the campus notified about something, or you need a very quick way during an incident to get the message out there. It may take time for the large mass notification system to come online and be able to get the message out there. What better way than to use the Whelen Broadcaster to quickly get a message to a very specific location? Again, it works great for mobile vehicles that particularly don't necessarily have a mass notification system in place where a parking ban or a mosquito spray may be taking place. If you think it'd be a great addition to your fleet, give us a call at 315-422-0301 or email us at sales@bushelectronics.net. From all of us here at Bush Electronics, thanks for watching.